Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion. It's Little G and I are out here at the Notch, and I'm telling you, I am loaded with gratitude, which is going to weave right into our conversation. Anyway, my name is Kimberly Quinn. I believe it's Jeep said it was 16 degrees. I'm going to guess it's a little less with the wind, and you know what? I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. It's a new day. New start, using this gift the best I can. And I'm a winter person. It is just gorgeous. And so today, what Little G and I wanted to talk about, where are we going, G? This is the other half. There we go. What we wanted to talk about is gratitude is to the mind as veggies are to the body. And it's so, wow, the wind is howling out there. As you can tell, I'm a little gazebo. I could do a quick stop, very quick to film. But I just, we've talked about gratitude a lot, and I don't think we can talk about it enough, because gratitude is the master key to happiness. Without it, someone is just not going to be happy. That's it, period. And obviously genes are involved and all that stuff, but really very little of it is our life circumstances. Sean Aker talks about that in his book, The Happiness Advantage. I forget the percentage, but it's like minuscule. The rest of it is how we create our own reality with this. And gratitude is just key. And if someone's thinking like, oh, I'm so busy, that's a whole other issue. Because when people use that as an excuse, who is in charge of your schedule? You are, right? And that's the same for me. I'm in that right now. I felt like a runaway train for like the last few days. And I stopped and said, breathe. And it's all really good stuff. It's just projects and abundance just flowing. And still I had to stop and kind of regroup, like, prioritize and just, get it all in order, because our busyness is not an excuse to not be grateful, to not go inward, to not be present in the moment. We just have to learn to manage that. It's kind of like, like life is like this gorgeous thoroughbred running around the track. I mean, just picture this muscular, beautiful animal. And typically there's like an 85-pound jockey on his back, right? And so that's us, the 85-pound jockey. So if we don't steer life, the beautiful thoroughbred, the way we want to, or picture the horse as the mind, that's really what we're trying to say. If we don't steer that beautiful, powerful mind in the direction we want to, picture that thoroughbred just running off. That's really what happens. So steering the mind, just like a thoroughbred, like that 85-pound jockey or whatever. So the best way to really to begin the whole happiness lifestyle is to start a gratitude routine. As you know, I have a gratitude journal, and I write 3 things in it every day, which is a modification from what Marty Seligman, father of positive psychology, who I adore, started decades ago, because he did a few more things. Some people do 5. You want to do 5, do 5. I modified it to 3 so my college students, my Minecrafters, would do it. So it's just, I am grateful for, I am grateful for, I am grateful for. 3 things. And the words I am grateful for matter. You can't just say my family, my golden retriever, the woods. I am grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my golden retriever, right, Jay? I am grateful for the woods. I even hugged a tree the other day. That's how grateful I am. And watch it change. And the average amount of time for a habit to shift and stick is about 21 days. So watch what happens to your head after about, what's in your head, your mind. After about 21 days, you'll just start to see the positive in your day. Okay, so now the veggies analogy being, the broccoli, because people just don't, we'll talk about you are what you eat, you are what you eat, you are what you eat. No, think about it. Like I say to my Minecrafters, if you were to remove Melissa's mind with kindness and anesthesia and put it on the shelf in a fishbowl of formaldehyde, what would Melissa be thinking? And of course, I'm like, can they say nothing? What would she be feeling? Nothing. What would she be doing? Nothing. So without the brain, without the mind, there's not much use for an apple. Okay, so the people who say we are what we eat, not dismissing nutrition, but without the mind, we got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yet we don't take care of it. We really don't. We're all about kids. Eat your beans, eat your broccoli, eat your Brussels sprouts, eat your fruit. Okay, that's all good. We don't want to take that away. Do we ever teach them how to pay attention? Do we ever teach them? Little kids are naturally in the moment until they kind of get ruined, right? But do we teach, elementary school kids, and it's just starting, to be mindful, to be calm, to hit the pause button, to realize that we're feeling all tight in the chest because it all feels like too much. It probably is. Yet instead we try to raise the bar on stress so we can, handle more, do it faster, Do it, just to fill up every second instead of doing the opposite, which is lowering the bar to stress. Because when we start to feel like it's too much, I'm not talking about avoidant behavior, that's a whole nother topic, but if things are genuinely too much, to listen to that and start making some cuts. I was just doing an audio cast on prioritizing, and it's interesting because a friend of mine in my new mastermind club I'm part of, which is just the best thing, it's so cool, just really well-centered, well-grounded, good people who are brilliant and successful. I mean, it's just really neat. So one of them was talking to me about that pre-World War II, the word priority was singular. So now all of a sudden, people say, oh, you have your priorities all wrong. Priorities wasn't plural. Think about why. Pre-World War I, when people lived a much simpler life, when you said my priority is, it was that one thing. That one thing, which is the focus of our energy. The rest of the things can be important too in an order, but that one thing is kind of like when people say, oh, that's one of my favorites. That's such a contradiction. And that, which is actually me, I admit it, because I have so many things I just love. But one of my favorites doesn't make sense. You have a favorite, you have one. You have a priority, you have one. And it shifts. It doesn't mean, our priority each day might shift. It might be, we really have to zoom in on one of our kids who's sick that day, all right? So it doesn't mean the other ones aren't just as important, of course they are, but the priority is to help that child heal and get better, right? That sort of thing. So, but priority is singular. So when we're talking about gratitude too, we need to make that, let's say, the morning priority, to be as grateful as we can to start the day. I am grateful for, I am grateful for, I am grateful for. So this is the broccoli of the mind. Just like we prioritize our health for our physical health, our nutritional health, we need to prioritize our mental health, because people did not teach us that. At least in my generation. I'm a fabulous 58, and I had a talk with my Minecrafters just this week, actually. I had to say, raise your hands if anybody taught you how to pay attention. And taught and told are different. They might say, pay attention. That's telling you or commanding you to. That's not teaching you how. Or how to calm your mind, or to explain that what we pay attention to sticks. Little kids, on some level, because they're not quite there yet with the abstract thinking, they can, if you use the glue analogy, right, they would get that what they pay attention to will stick to their brain like with glue. They'll kind of get that, okay? And it's weird, and I have my own theory on it. I think we definitely take our bodies for granted, all of us at times, in this wonderful, wonderful vehicle that has brought us all everywhere we've gone in our whole lives. And my theory is that we really don't value things that are free. Just like when you go to a fair, you go to something that you go to, and there's free stuff, and people grab pens, and they grab this, and they grab that, and they don't really value them. We don't. If somebody gives us stuff, we might be happy they gave it to us, but we don't value it like as if we actually worked hard and spent money for it, and they wrapped up in a box and brought it home. We take better care of things that we value, that we actually spend money on. So think about it. The brain is an organ. Our organs are free. I think this kind of includes that. Whereas, I think in many ways, sadly, because if we value our brain more, we wouldn't get as mad at it when we forget stuff. We forget people's names. Sometimes it's embarrassing. A person standing right with us, they clearly know us, and this happens to me sometimes too. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally can remember the conversation and everything, but they don't want the name, or sometimes I have the name but can't remember what context it's in. And we can get mad at our mind for like, it was just on the tip of my tongue. I was so embarrassed. Couldn't remember it, or I studied, and we get so mad. And if we actually really valued this 3-pound beautiful organ that creates our reality, and we really saw the beauty and the wonder in it, we would treat it more like a best friend than somebody we're mad at, or even an enemy. And think about it. As far as the free thing goes, we can go get a plant at Walmart and we'll treat it better, right? We'll give it, water, maybe a little Miracle-Gro, kind of chemical, but okay. And let's say natural fertilizer and water, and we'll put it in a nice spot, by the window in the sun, or to grow. We take better care of a freaking house plant than we do our brain. Why? Because we paid $12.99 for it. That's why. And so here's the thing: gratitude. It's like eat your veggies, eat your broccoli, eat your fruit, veggies, whatever. Same thing for the mind, kind of. So look at it like that. Feed the body, feed the mind. Feed the body, feed the mind. The mind, in reality, dominates over everything. So we want to take really good care of it. Find 3 things you are grateful for today. This is Kimberly Quinn, And little Giovanni signing off from the beautiful Notch in like 10-degree weather in northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.